Hi everyone. This picture on the left here is in Libya, in Tripoli, and airstrikes have hit the last functioning airport in Tripoli. So there are no more airports that work in Tripoli. I'm going to show you something else that's interesting in this video here too, but listen to Obama.
Tonight, I'd like to update the American people on the international effort that we have led in Libya, what we've done, what we plan to do, and why this matters to us. I want to begin by paying tribute to our men and women in uniform, who once again have acted with courage, professionalism, and patriotism. They have moved with incredible speed and strength. Because of them and our dedicated diplomats, a coalition has been forged and countless lives have been saved. Meanwhile, as we speak, our troops are supporting our ally Japan, leaving Iraq to its people, stopping the Taliban's momentum in Afghanistan, and going after Al-Qaeda all across the globe. As Commander-in-Chief, I am grateful to our soldiers, sailors, airmen.
Okay, over here. Let me just stop this for a second. So this is someone giving a speech in Libya about this situation. Let me just back this up a little bit. Okay, there's the new flag, the new Libyan flag, because Gaddafi had the only solid colored flag in the world, which was green, about this color green. But I think this is really interesting. This very humble room. Okay, go back a little more. Right here. This very humble room. Just a flag here, little pedestal, where he's giving his speech. And then look at the door handles behind him with the two pine cones on the top. Like the two pillars. Don't you think it's interesting that he's standing there? They could have had this any place. They could have put some kind of background like this there. Maybe it was a hasty setup, but nevertheless they have the pine cones, which are ancient and having to do with the pineal gland, which opens people up to direct knowledge. But you can get that through God and the Holy Spirit anyway. So if this guy goes on, this is what he has to say.
Marines, Coast Guardsmen, and to their families. And I know all Americans share in that sentiment. For generations, the United States of America has played a unique role as an anchor of global security and as an advocate for human freedom. Mindful of the risks and costs of military action, we are naturally reluctant to use force to solve the world's many challenges. But when our interests and values are at stake, we have a responsibility to act. That's what's happened in Libya over the course of these last 6 weeks. Libya sits directly between Tunisia and Egypt, two nations that inspired the world when their people rose up to take control of their own destiny. For more than 4 decades, the Libyan people have been ruled by a tyrant, Muammar Gaddafi. He has denied his people freedom, exploited their wealth, murdered opponents at home and abroad.
But you are aware, everyone, that it was the richest country in Africa. And he did a lot. It was, well, you have to look up the statistics on Libya to see how far Gaddafi had brought Libya. So basically, Obama is lying again. And that's what that war was based on. Something else I want to mention is, it may be so insignificant, but there's a lot of striped ties being worn right now. And Obama wore striped ties 2 days in a row for Ferguson and immigration and other meetings. Do they wear striped ties to signal each other around the world? I have no idea.
And terrorized innocent people around the world, including.
But Gaddafi complied. He got rid of his weapons. He did so many things, and people did love him. This is twisting things around, because listen to Obama, what he's going to say about the money. And where did all of Gaddafi's gold go?
Americans who were killed by Libyan agents. Last month, Gaddafi's grip of fear appeared to give way to the promise of freedom. In cities and towns across the country, Libyans took to the streets to claim their basic human rights. As one Libyan said, "For the first time, we finally have hope that our nightmare of 40 years will soon be over." Faced with this opposition, Gaddafi began attacking his people. As president, my immediate concern was the safety of our citizens, so we evacuated our embassy and all Americans who sought our assistance. When we took a series of swift steps in a matter of days to answer Gaddafi's aggression, we froze more than $33 billion of Gaddafi's regime's assets. Joining with other nations of the United Nations Security Council, we broadened our sanctions, imposed an arms embargo, and enabled Gaddafi and those around him to be held accountable for their crimes.
Libya now. I don't know how many airports it had before, but and then people are trying to leave on boats to escape this madness, running for their lives, and then people don't want them, and they die in the ocean and drown, and no one cares.
I made it clear that Gaddafi had lost the confidence of his people and the legitimacy to lead. And I said that he needed to step down from power. In the face of the world's condemnation, Gaddafi chose to escalate his attacks, launching a military campaign against the Libyan people. Innocent people were targeted for killing. Hospitals and ambulances were attacked. Journalists were arrested, sexually assaulted, and killed. Supplies of food and fuel were choked off. Water for hundreds of thousands of people in Misrata was shut off. Cities and towns were shelled, mosques were destroyed, and apartment buildings reduced to rubble. Military jets and helicopter gunships were unleashed upon people who had no means to defend themselves against assaults from the air. Confronted by this brutal repression and a looming humanitarian crisis, I ordered warships into the Mediterranean. European allies declared their willingness to commit resources to stop the killing. The Libyan opposition and the Arab League appealed to the world to save lives in Libya. So at my direction, America led an effort with our allies at the United Nations Security Council to pass a historic resolution that authorized a no-fly zone to stop the regime's attacks from the air and further authorized all necessary measures to protect the Libyan people. 10 days ago, having tried to end the violence without using force, the international community offered Gaddafi a final chance to stop his campaign of killing or face the consequences. Rather than stand down, his forces continued their advance, bearing down on the city of Benghazi, home to nearly 700,000 men, women, and children who sought their freedom from fear.
So, you can't go to Libya anymore. And who wrote that speech for Obama? There was a huge campaign of people who wanted to go to Libya and destroy it, take the gold, take over the oil fields, and now they're doing that in Syria. Okay, God bless. Damascus is next, and Jesus is coming back. So that's the good news. The gospel is the good news. It's simple and easy to understand. Bye for now. Thanks for watching.